about it, but
Okay.
I'm just saying this just to remind you so that if there's any plans towards that, you can
Okay.
put it in your
Uh,
events or in the programs. Yeah, thank you so
yes,
much.
that's great.
Yeah,
Thank you, Ishmael,
as
very
you
much.
mentioned, my name
Mm.
is Ishmael Adams, and currently I'm working in IFDC, International Fertilizer Development Center. I am a communication consultant over there, and I do IT staffs. Yeah, so
Okay.
thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Ishmael. We appreciate you for being with the community all this while. Yes, I think that I will touch on appropriate time. I will touch on the ID stuff as to how it went. We did some communique, but I'm sure you missed it. But I will touch it on appropriate time. So thank you very much for sharing us
You're
a
welcome.
brief bio of yourself. Yes, so Firefly, if I can see you, if you can hear me, you can just unmute yourself and give us a quick info bio about yourself and what you expect in today's section. Yeah, Fireflies. Okay. Hello, Firefly. Can you unmute yourself? You can come on. If video is an issue, you can just use the audio. All right. Okay. It seems Firefly is not hearing us. I see Baba in there. I don't know if it's the Baba I know, but you can come also unmute yourself and just give us a brief bio about what you do and your expectation for today's section.
Hello, Ernest. I hope you're fine. I hope everybody's fine. So I'm a manager in tech. Abu knows me very well, and I've been a supporter of the Microsoft user group for a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm here along with the other participants to learn. I
Okay.
know yourself and Abu would always have a lot to share.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's it.
Okay. That's great. That's great. And it is the Baba that I know. So thank you for joining us. Okay, I see who again. Okay, Silva is also part of the organizers. Silva is in. Okay, so I think that Pearl, we have to respect our time. And Abu, if you have any few words before we officially begin the program.
Oh, no. We are doing today our Microsoft Global Bootcamp, like as we normally do every year. So we have a partner joining us to tell us what is going on. So that's basically what we have to do here.
Okay, all right. So I see Owusu. Owusu, you just joined. Would you like to share a brief bio about yourself and what you expect for today's section? Owusu, your mic is allowed now. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So final year at KUST, and I think I joined this conference was last year around August, where we got introduced to cloud computing. So I had this message again that today we're doing the Azure Bootcamp. So I'm hoping to join then know more about Microsoft Azure.
That's
Okay.
great. That's great. Thank you for making time. We appreciate it. Okay, so Firefly, if you can hear me, or if you can't, we would begin the show. Okay. All right. So I would like to thank you all attendees for making time and joining us today. Today is Global Agile Bootcamp 2022, and it is our hope that you will enjoy this section. I have here with me Pearl Angela Gabriella, who is also a partner with Microsoft User Group Ghana. So I will not do much. I'll give the platform for Pearl to begin her section. Over to you, Pearl.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'll be representing TUNGA, the Developer Community Support Officer. I'll be joined by our Developer Community Lead, Esther. I think I'll start off with my presentation. It's going to be it's about launching your tech career internationally with TUNGA. Yeah. Let me share my. All right. I think you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So basically, what I'm going to be
presentation mode. It's not in presentation mode.
It's you like not.
This? Yes.
Is it or is it not?
It's not. Okay. It is at your end, right? But we can manage. Can they go ahead? Can manage.
All right. So basically, I'm going to be talking about TUNGA. TUNGA is a Dutch-founded enterprise. We've been in business for 6 years. We are a software development company that connects African software developers to software teams from Europe and worldwide. We have about 900 software developers, and our mission is to create 21st century jobs for African software developers. So, okay, yes, I'm getting into who we are. Maybe something I would like to add about that is our goal for this year is launching your tech career on the international. Would like to help software developers launch their tech career on the international market. So basically, this that is why I chose this particular topic for this, because because as TUNGA, that is our goal for the year. So I'm going to talk about launching your career with TUNGA specifically. So with TUNGA, you're able to build your skills, find jobs, and work with international clients, because TUNGA works with clients from Europe. So it gives you that, it widens your should I say horizon. Yeah, then we guide you in the best learning and self-assessment tools available. That is, we have the learning paths. We have the learning paths that we are launching. We have the academy where developers are able to learn and get new skills. Yeah, then TUNGA helps find tailored jobs for you that help you realize your dreams. Then working with TUNGA, you are able to master your own time and planning, because with TUNGA, you create your own, because the jobs are flexible. You are able to create your working hours, work on your schedule, and this is also remote work. So you are basically managing your own time and your own planning. Yeah, so let me get, so this is what offer at TUNGA basically for software developers. I talked a little bit about building skills. We have the TUNGA Academy. Anyone can get onto that TUNGA Academy. We have a few courses there, though we noticed that this is not our strongest suit, so we are looking for ways to upskill developers, but because the academy is not this is not our strongest suit, we are moving towards having learning paths that will direct a developer into the right path that they are looking for to be able to grow and on their own. We have teaser workshops, we have webinars and meetups. As a matter of fact, next week on Tuesday, we shall be having TUNGA Ask the Expert Tuesday, where we shall be having someone talk about developing your resume, which is something that ideally would help you grow your career on the international market, because if you do not know how to do it, you are at a disadvantage compared to the developers on the international market. Then we have when a developer joins TUNGA, you create a profile, and this profile is what markets you as a developer. So with your profile that you have created, you're able to even see how far you've gone, and yeah, basically. Then we have boot camps. Then we also have hackathons. Yeah. Then TUNGA aids in finding a job, because the opportunities that we get, regular opportunities that we share with you when you've joined the platform. You have certain skills that you put up, and say if an opportunity is looking for someone with the skills, you receive a notification and you're able to apply. So and you get these opportunities on the international market. So yes. Then feedback on applications. Of course, you have someone to take you through the application process. So you have someone who is with you throughout the application process. Yeah. Then tips and tricks for interviews. We have meetings with our talent managers, our talent of support officers, where they give you some tips on interviews that you're going to be having with clients. So basically, they're tuning you in the right direction. Yeah. Then we also help you with building a career. Yeah. Because most African software developers are having in the local market, the pay is not as much as that in the international market, as we all know. So basically, you get to work in Africa, live in Africa, but then you get to earn money that is above the local market pay. Yes, then I talked about it being remote and flexible, because you're working in your own time. So it's convenient, basically. Yes, then international clients, changing work, because ideally you have when you're on assignment, you get to challenge yourself and you get to improve. Yeah. Then of course there's on the job training that you get. Yeah, so I think maybe what I would like to maybe get more into what maybe clients are looking for. Clients say on the international market, they're looking for someone with understanding of the tasks. They're looking for someone with attention, who pays attention to detail. They're looking for someone with clean and structured code, with proper documentation, code reusability, and communication. I think communication is one of the biggest factors that developers usually ignore, but it is something that has to be looked out for. Yeah, because it helps the developer to understand the client and the teammates, to understand what they're trying to communicate, basically. Yeah, I think now with this, I'm going to hand over to Esther to go through the onboarding process with TUNGA.
You can mute.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but you've muted yourself again.
Yes, I'd like to apologize. Yeah, I'd
Okay.
like to apologize. I was trying to have Pearl to mute herself so that we don't have feedback completely. Hi, everybody. My name is Esther. I am the head of the developer community at TUNGA. Pearl, I would like to request you to put the presentation in presentation mode. Like a slideshow, just do a slideshow. And can we go to the slide before?
Okay.
So while we wait for Paul to deal with the technical bit of it, I think at the end of the session at the end of our time, we'll be able to take in a bit of more questions to be able to answer as many questions as possible. What we've come to realize as TUNGA is that currently there is so much focus on the excellent developer.
Great. We have it in a presentation mode. Sorry. It's better now. We have it in a presentation mode now.
Okay. So what we've realized as a company is that every recruitment firm out there is looking for a stellar developer, someone who has experience, someone who has worked. Even us as TUNGA, I'm ashamed to say that is something that we've been focusing on. But then we've realized that right now there is little to no continuity on the skills that are being put up. Because I always say that the value of knowledge is in action. If I've been through a 6-month boot camp, how have I been able to act on the knowledge that I've been able to gain through that boot camp in order to allow me to compete with my peers? So right now, as TUNGA, we're working on a program. We're calling it the TIA, where we're trying to see how we can create an impact by focusing on the lower tier of it. Because when you look at the market, everyone is looking for a senior developer, maybe midway to senior. So we want to see how do we serve the developers that are just starting out, 6-month bootcamp, the junior developers who we're trying to see how do we train them better. But on top of training them, how do we find them internships or junior developer roles that actually challenge them and push them from the comfort that they are in or the lack of proper experience to the next level. So that's something that we're working on as well. And hopefully we'll be able to share it with the Microsoft User Group Ghana at hopefully before the end of August. It is an initiative that we're launching with the Dutch government, and we're really excited to see how we can launch it in Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and the rest of Africa. So I would like to walk you through the TUNGA step-by-step process from the time someone joins, from the time someone applies to the time they're able to join the TUNGA platform. This is a process. There's some steps that I've been able to work on myself to refine There are some that I found in place when I joined TUNGA, and it's quite interesting, and I'll be able to give you a background on where we're coming from. So one of the things that we look at when a developer has applied to join the TUNGA platform is that we do a CV check, and I think this is common for almost all platforms that are trying to recruit developers. What we're looking for in a CV is not about where you have worked, it's not about who you are or the like. We usually focus on what you've been able to do. And when we look at our requirements, we're looking at 3 years experience, including class projects or learning. Like, what is it that you've been able to do? You find that so many times developers focus on talking about, I have worked here, but when you've worked at a specific place, let's say I have worked at TUNGA, but the entire time you are working at TUNGA, you are able to build about 6 to 10 products. And I find that many times as a developer, you're cheating yourself of the value you've been able to deliver over time. You may find that, let's say it's a software development company, implying you're building solutions for different companies, different industries, different needs. And your versatility in being able to transfer knowledge from, let's say, the fintech sector to the health sector to edutech, you are not able to fully express yourself when you just limit it to the fact that, okay, I have worked at TUNGA, but when you were at TUNGA, what products were you able to build? What were you able to work on? And that is actually what we look at. So on top of that, we're able to try and understand, if you're working on a specific product, what were your responsibilities? What technologies were you using? It also allows to see the growth you've had as a developer from using specific tools and technologies to advancing to a certain level where you're able to use really competitive tools to be able to compete on the market. When your CV has gone through that check, this is done by, we've had cases where someone assumes that it's done by a computer, but TUNGA is a very people-centric company. Your CV will be reviewed by a person. So we find that very important, because sometimes there is a bias that comes with machines. They have their value, but there is bias. So we usually require that this is reviewed by someone on our team. From there, based on how you're able to present yourself, you'll be requested to take a coding assessment of your choice. For example, if you apply as a JavaScript React developer, you will be asked to take a React assessment on our platform, on one of our platforms, and we've been using Codabyte as an assessment tool. Previously, we had our own platform, which is the TUNGA Testing platform. But we have moved away from that because we realized that there are companies in the market who actually push resources into developing interesting tools and are able to continuously improve them. So right now we're working with Codabyte that allows us to examine what is your understanding of data structures and algorithms, which is something developers do not put emphasis on when they're starting their journey, yet it's able to differentiate a developer who is and a developer who actually understand what's going on. Of course, that's not the only determinant. We're able to see how clean is your code. Are you understanding the thought process of whatever it is that you're working through based on the challenge you've been presented? Because we realize the tools we used previously focus on someone's ability to just cram, and there was no value. So many times we've had jokes being said that being a developer sometimes is really about how good you are at Googling, and we find that that information is out there, right? You can always find it. So it's really more about, do you understand the basics and the structure that your code should be built on in order for it to function in a clean, in a really in a good manner, and also taking into consideration the factor of performance at the end of the day. Based on the results we're able to get, Codabyte will usually give us a report that we'll share with you as a developer to say that, okay, this is where you are weak. If, let's say, it was a Python coding assessments, you'll find that someone used Python 3 or they used Python, 1, and the application will be able to break it down and say, for Python 3, they are lacking in this, and this. This is where they can improve. For this, they're really good with this. They understand, and we rate them at this level. And this is a report we share with you because we believe in continuous feedback, like Paul previously mentioned. From there, we shall be able to assess your IQ. Over the years, the data we've been able to collect allows us to see the success rate of developers based on specific personality, but then also your IQ skill set. This is something that we take really, really seriously, in that sometimes as a developer, you may actually pass the coding assessment and your CV, but when you score really, really low in IQ, we find that, okay, with regards to abstract thinking, we find that there is a challenge sometimes when we place you with a client, because interpretation of certain things, or can I say problem solving, which is something that people find really, really important. Or if we feel like, okay, this developer is actually really good, maybe there was an error or an issue, we usually ask the developer, do you have a problem retaking it? And all is a test that we pay for, such that you don't feel like it's a burden for you. We already feel like it's an investment of your time. And while I'm talking about this process, the speed of you going through each of these stages is entirely based on you. If you set a coding assessment, whenever you take it is when we shall proceed with you. If you feel like, you know what, I'm busy, I'll take it later, all you have to do is communicate such that no one is really going to put you in pressure to submit. From there, you have a comms check. This is basically a call with someone on our team to get to know you, to understand what your needs are, what you've been working on, what you hope to see in the future, and what you hope to achieve for yourself. Usually, we're trying to have like a one-on-one feel with the talent manager who will be handling you through the process. From there, you'll be invited into our channel, and you'll be requested to create your profile. Now, your profile is basically your selling point as a developer. How do I explain it? When a client comes to Tunga and says, hi Tunga, I am looking for a React Python developer, React front end, Python back end. I would also love to have them have an understanding of AWS. They give us an entire profile of the needs that they would like, right? What the talent team does is, of course, the system is able to suggest people who already match that profile. One, it will also alert you once the skills that have been requested, at least you're able to have, even if you have 85% of the skill set and you're willing to learn, which is something that is really, really important, because technology changes and you need to be able to keep up with the changes. So the challenge that comes with a developer creating their profile, even with it being the most important stage, people are lazy or forget to update their profile. Maybe you've added a new project and things like that. And this is something that we take really, really seriously, because when a client comes and says they're looking for a developer that meets a specific skill set, the first thing we're going to do is go and look at your profile. Your profile lists down your skills. It lists down the projects you've been able to work on. It lists down the technologies you're strongest with. It even gives a brief about who you are as a person and what interests you. And that is basically your selling point. Developers sometimes don't have GitHub repos that have like small projects that someone can look at. So we are trying to we've created a platform that allows you to market yourself. For example, if someone is working on the back end, usually, maybe the most someone is going to ask for is, like, let's say, a code snippet, or give you a separate assessment, or to basically try and understand how you would approach certain issues at the end of the day. It's not like front end, where someone will be like, okay, send me a link to your portfolio, and someone is actually better able to see, okay, I've worked on this, I can have a link, I can see the visuals of this. So your profile as a developer is your selling point. And this is something that I usually emphasize. And I find myself over and over again going back to the development and saying, no, let's go over this, let's change this. You worked on this, why haven't you included it? Because it is of such value. And once you're able to get onto the Tunga platform, you're automatically alerted, hi Ernest, there's this role that fits in your job description. Are you interested in it? Are you available? Most importantly, because a role may come for 40 hours a week, but as software developers, we always have so much going on. You're probably working on 4 projects at any one time. And you're like, okay, no, I'm only available for 15. Then we're able to talk to the client and say, is it okay if Ernest joins you for 15 hours a week? Because that is how available he is. The client may say yes, the client may say no, and say, no, I want someone who is more available because of how sensitive my product is, or the specific project, or time-wise. So I wanted to walk you through the process and to reiterate that the length of the process is dependent on you, the developer who is trying to join the platform. Paul, could we go to the next slide? Yeah, I can see it. Back. Okay. So once you're able to get on the platform, we have a matching process where we're trying to match you. This is probably something I've already talked about, but we match you with a client based on your skill set, based on your interests. We've had developers who have a specific skill set and are a right fit for a client, but that's not the interest they would like to take with regards to industry. Because we also think about religion differences. For example, we're not going to have, if a role is specific to, let's say, betting, because we've had betting companies come in and they're looking for a developer, but the developer who they want to hire, let's say, is Muslim or is Christian, and that does not align with their religion. So such differences have to be communicated from the word go, and we are really strict on that, such as the developer is not working in a team that they're not comfortable with. Once a client makes a decision that, you know what, I would like to start working with Ernest, you will be automatically assigned a client manager. Now, the value of this client manager is to manage your relationship with the client from the word go. Basically, they will do the introduction, follow up with you to say, how are you doing? What challenges are you having? Are you being challenged enough? Do you feel like the pay you're earning is what you should be earning? Are you taking on extra work that was not initially defined with the work that you were supposed to do? Are you stressed? Are you in a good place? And while we do that for you, the same client manager will be doing the same for the client and asking, okay, let's say, Performanta, how is Ernest doing? Is he happy? Is he pushing himself? Is he able to deliver? Are you having any challenges? Okay, Ernest says that you are not challenging him enough. You're giving him funny tickets that he, at the level he is, he should be working on way bigger things. What can you do about it? So you have a client manager who listens to you. And we've put a policy where your pay is revised every 6 months, because we think that is really, really important for you to grow financially, but then also to grow in a challenging environment. Usually you have a support system with regards to a client manager, but then also there's some teams. You may join a team and you have like 6 other TUNGA developers working with you, which we find that developers have a much more peaceful, because they know they have someone to count on. We can go to the next one. There's a lag. Okay, I thought another thing that we found important to talk about was the fact that the rates of our pay. So the lowest, ideally, a developer can earn in TUNGA is 1,600 euros. That is if you're working 160 hours a month. That is 40 hours a week. That's the lowest we're going to pay you as a developer. That is if you're too junior to the point that the client has so much to have or needs you to be supervised full time. That's the lowest tier we look at. So we have tiers A, B, C, D, and with D being 19 euros and above, and also customizable based on your skill set and your experience. The way a developer with 15 years experience is going to be paid is not the same way a developer who has 6 months experience is going to be paid. So these are some of our rates. You can be able to calculate how you're able to grow or move. Because if you join as a developer, it's not a must that you're going to start from tier A. No. You can join and start at tier C based on your experience, and your pay is able to grow. Let's say you start from C1, you're able to move, and you're able to have an increase in rate step by step. Okay. Then you're able to grow as a developer. So every 6 months, you're able to have an evaluation with the team you're working with as a client, but then also with TUNGA as a mediator to come and say, okay, Ernest feels like he has been able to deliver this. This is what he has been tasked to do. We've had developers join a team at a junior level, but then grow into mid-year levels, into senior roles, and even eventually become team leads And of course, when you're going through that kind of transition, it should be able to reflect in the amount of money that you're earning. To be specific, most of our clients are in Europe, because you realize that many clients in Africa do not want to pay based on the value of the developer, which is something that we're really trying to push because of the economy. So these are our rates, and I think this is a presentation we'll be able to share, or we already shared with your team, and they can be able to share with the community. We can go to the next slide. So I thought it was also important for us to have an understanding of the technologies that are in demand right now. Of course, it's no secret that sometimes when a specific technology is backed by a specific organization, you'll find that it has other companies want to adopt it. We've seen a very serious trend with regards to the need for TypeScript, surprisingly, and they want it in combination with React, with Vue, with Node, like a combination of the two. We've seen Python, the need for Microsoft Azure. Like there are so many needs, but when you look at this chart, which I try to draw something that based on the data we've been able to collect over the past year, such that you can see what is standing out. So you'll find that maybe they're looking for a backend developer with a complete understanding of AWS and different AWS services, understanding them to the greatest level that they can be able to operate as a DevOps engineer without needing support. Of course, sometimes that is too much. We've also realized that sometimes clients are looking for an entire team in one person, and usually our role as TUNGA is to be able to communicate and say that no, that is not right. For this role, if you're looking for this is an entire department. You would need like 4 or 5 people for this role to work out. But yeah, these are some of the technologies that are trending, and they change over time. We predict that within the next couple of years, Salesforce is going to be able to create over 1 trillion jobs by 2030 or even more than that. So that is something that people need to get learning and understanding and certifying in as well. We can go to the next slide. Did I rush? Okay. I think there is a bit of a lag. Yeah, it is. I think these are things Paul already talked about with regards to proactive communication, technical excellence, teachability. Yeah, please keep going. So, you can always feel free to reach out to me, esther@tunga.io, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, anywhere, email. I'm always available to respond, as well as Paul, who is a developer community support and has been really working hard to push this initiative. Now, the reason that we got to a point where we wanted to get into Ghana, or the reason why we ended up reaching out to Microsoft User Group Ghana, was because as a company we realized that we have been focusing so much on Nigeria and Uganda, which in many ways is, let's say, selling Africa short in one way or another, because they're brilliant developers in Ghana, they're brilliant developers in Kenya. We're actually in Kenya right now, and we want to see how, as TUNGA, how can we expand our sphere of influence to be able to expand the jobs that we have to reach different markets at all points, right? And it is something that we're really intentional about. We want to better understand how do we support the growth. We are launching a program for training trainers. For example, we're looking at Microsoft User Group, right? And Microsoft is really specific and usually even has certifications that it requires for, especially when you're looking to train. So in the event that we went ahead, how do I explain train the trainers? In one or another, to partner with, let's say, Microsoft to license and train specific trainers, let's say from Microsoft User Group Ghana, to be able to pass on knowledge. So if you're certified as a trainer, it even makes or adds more value and confidence in the information you're passing on to the people that you're trying to train with a specific technology that you're confident about, that you've been using for the longest time. And from there, it makes it easier for us to push these people have been trained by qualified trainers. One, the junior developers, that's what I'm talking about. Junior developers have been trained by qualified trainers, and they have been able to take assessments, which Tunga is going to pay for, or the certification exams. And we need to be able to place them in a company as an intern or as a junior developer or as a junior engineer in one or another, to be able to compete and push themselves. But the fact that we've tried as much as possible to see how to deliver this value and to market you as a developer by having you trained by a trainer who has been trained by a more senior trainer and qualified, it is something that we're really interested in, and we're looking forward to how we can launch it in Ghana, and hopefully before I don't know, maybe July or August, Paul and I will be in Ghana to see how we can be able to extend the collaboration. We've also, like Paul earlier said, that training people may not be our strongest suit, so we're going to partner with some of the best training institutions in Europe to actually come physically and do training for people that are interested in this kind of program. We've also been able to establish the Tunga learning paths that basically guide you as a developer. Let's say, when we think about cloud computing and the like, right? Sometimes we start learning and you're just going on with the trend because there is so much information out there. So as Tunga, we've tried as much as possible to narrow it down in a manner that guides you step by step to say, okay, if you're starting out for this specific technology, this is what you need to know. After you've mastered this, maybe try and learn this. This is where you can find the best resources that do this. Once you've been able to do that, do this next. And this is something that we've launched on our website. It is when you go to tunga.io and you go to the section that has learn, or tunga.io/learn, is it /learn or learning roadmaps? You can be able to find different roadmaps or learning paths that guide your journey. So they may be referencing to other courses out there that may be free. Some may reference to our Tunga Academy. But basically, what we're trying to do is to guide your journey from a specific level to the next level by showing you that, okay, this is what you need to learn, this is what you need to master over time, this is what we've been able to understand. And I'm not sure if I've been able to exhaust everything, but I'm really open to taking questions, as many questions as possible. I feel like I dimmed Paul's light. Paul, I think you should come in and take questions from anyone who may have questions. Yeah.
Yep. Wow. Very insightful. We heard a lot. I'm getting some echoes here. I don't know. Okay, it's okay now. So, attendees, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand. So, allow your microphone and camera as well. So you can ask any questions you want to ask Pearl and Esther. I think the presentation was good. It was very clear. Is there any questions? We are in the Q&A section, so kindly feel free, raise your hands and then ask any questions. So, Bill, I would like to start with this. Normally, how long does it take for someone to go through the enrollment process?
I'll answer that. It's completely dependent on you. So it could be 3 days, it could be 2 days, it could be a day, it could be 3 weeks, it could be a month. Because we realize that going through this entire process is an investment of your time. And many times, I usually say that it's easier to find a new job when you already have a job because you already have like something to fall on. So you find that people usually are busy. So they come from 1 month. Sorry, you can be onboarded in a day, because I have personally onboarded developers in a day because there was a role that was ready for them, waiting for them, and they were able to go through different steps, or we would work backwards. Let's say create your profile, then work on your test because there is need for it to get right. While it has also taken developers a month, it has taken others 2 months because we are waiting for you to submit your test. We're waiting for you to respond. We're waiting for you to, yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's awesome. So depending on your
Ernest, I
speed.
think you're muted.
Hello, am I muted? Hello, Abu, can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? Okay.
I can hear you. I don't think you are muted.
Yes, I'm not sure I'm muted. Okay, so we are still taking questions. We see a lot of attendees. Kindly come up with your questions. This is the time. We would be also. Esther, can you hear me? Yeah, hello, Esther. Hello, Esther, can you hear me? Okay, so you can hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay, all right. So we are still taking questions. We have about 10 minutes to still use for questions. So kindly come up. Just raise your hand and I will allow your microphone and the camera to ask your question. So kindly go ahead with any question of your choice. Okay, so I want to know how many developers have joined us today. If you are in the call and you're a developer, just raise your hand and let's see how many developers are here. All right. So Esther, what we are going to do as a community.
Esther, I wanted to know one thing. Is the people are going to do remote work or they are going to relocate?
So we focus on remote work, but we've had incidences where a client, after working with a developer for let's say over 8 months or so, because I think that is usually the contract, they request to relocate their developer. Truthfully, as Tunga, we are not in the business of relocation. It's not something that we do. We focus on remote work, but when developers do get an opportunity to relocate by the client, then that is a discussion we have with the client if it's something they want to do. And we're not going to hold you to say, okay, you can't leave or you have to pay a fine. No. If that's something the client you're working with would like to do, then it is something that, of course, as Tunga will step out of. Then you have an agreement with a client or with that company that is taking you on to relocate, and you're able to flourish in that manner. But we are not in the business of relocating.
So the follow-up question is let's say, can someone be taking, they have a full-time job in Africa and apply for this one and be doing it as a remote job if it doesn't bother his time? Or you have to stop the job you are doing and only do this one?
It's completely flexible. First of all, no one is going to ask. No, I'm going to ask you. If you feel, of course, there is greed that comes in where someone wants to do, let's say they're doing 40 hours here with Tunga full time. Also, in the other job, they're probably working 40 hours or more in the job that they're working. So usually you find that one of them is going to suffer. Not like sometimes we fail to balance some of those things. But if you're able to plan your time and you're able to achieve your task without anyone, you're able to make it to your stand-ups. Because usually the way most of these remote teams are set up is that you'll have a stand-up in the morning with the team. What has gone well for you? What do you want to do? What do you hope to achieve today? What do you have an update to share? And that is it. Then the next day something else. So someone will just be able to follow up with your tickets. You move them based on whatever project management tool you're using. If you're able to manage your time properly, no one is going to be following up on you to say, why are you working on another job? The only time Tunga will be alarmed is if, okay, we keep getting complaints that so and so is not showing up to stand-ups. If you know you have a 30-minute stand-up or 15-minute stand-up once a day, make time for that, attend your stand-up, and figure out when you would like to achieve the specific task within the time they're expected to be achieved. If you decide you're going to work the whole night, that's entirely up to you, as long as you're able to deliver the work. Because for us, when we're contracting you, we're looking at, okay, we've agreed you're working 40 hours a week. Usually the fact that Europe is in a similar time zone with most African countries, for example, Ghana, I think, is in the same time zone with the UK, and Netherlands maybe 2 hours behind. Nigeria is in 1 hour behind the Netherlands or something like that, you get. So it's completely up to your ability as a person to be an adult and manage your time and be able to communicate when you're stuck or unable to deliver. We've had incidences where a developer crashed a client's entire system and they keep quiet. And we have to find out from a client, yet given that we're a recruitment platform, we have access to over hundreds of developers who could potentially easily come in to resolve a challenge. Like we could easily put together a team of 4 people to come together, fix a problem that you're having because you were able to communicate. And I'm saying this because this has actually happened multiple times, more than once with a specific developer. And the developer wasn't fired because Tunga was able to step in and resolve the challenge. We try as much as possible to have the developer first because we know sometimes how difficult it can be working with people from different cultures. You had another question?
So
Okay,
the
so
client.
there is a question. Okay.
Let me ask this one question.
Okay.
The customers are only in Europe, or they are other parts of the world?
Most of them are in Europe, but we also have clients in the US and in Canada. But let's say 90% of our clients are in Europe. So they're usually in a similar time zone. I think when we were initially starting out, the reason why we went with that kind of strategy, because it allowed someone to, let's say, have a full-time day job, but while working remotely. But we also realized that sometimes what you're making, you may be making, let's say, 4,000 euros a month, and that's not enough. And maybe you figure out you have other avenues to make money from whatever you do with your time is really not my concern. If you're able to deliver your tasks and you're able to show up for your stand-ups, then that's okay.
Okay, I'm asking this one because myself, I'm in France, and the remote job here in France, they don't understand it. They don't want to do it. And here the case, the contract they are going to give you, if they pick you, is it going to be based on your country you are living, or is it going to be the country you are working, since it's a remote work?
You've introduced a new factor, which is the fact that you are an African developer, but you're living out of Africa. Now, in cases like that, unfortunately, we cannot take you on because one, we believe that if you have actually been able to leave Africa, you have access to way better opportunities than your developer counterparts have here. So usually when a developer gets an opportunity to relocate, then we have to find a developer here to be able to replace them. Because if many are leaving, let's say to do masters, many are leaving to, let's say, if it's a masters and you know you're coming back in a year, then we can keep you on working specific hours. But
I'm talking about the contract between you and the customer, the developer and the customer. The contract is going to be based on the country. Let's say the developer is in Ghana and the client is in Europe. So the contract they are going to give you, is it going to be in the labor law of Ghana applied to the contract, or Europe? Let's say you want to take the tax. Are they going to take tax based on Ghana, or they are going to take tax based on the Netherlands or Germany?
It's the contract you enter in is governed by the Dutch law, one, but then also we as Tunga hire you as a freelancer. So the responsibility of paying taxes is with you as a developer. You can choose to pay taxes, you may choose not to pay taxes.
So they don't do any deduction?
No, if we say we are paying you 2,500 euros or 4,000 euros, that's how much we are paying you. If you decide that, okay, as a freelancer, for example, Uganda requires 6% tax from freelancers. If I decide that, okay, I'm a freelancer making 4,000 euros, I need to pay 4% tax to the Ugandan government, that is your responsibility. It's not our responsibility as Tunga, because we hire you as a freelancer. You are completely in charge of how you pay taxes. So if we pay you your 4K and you decide, man, I'm going to keep it for myself, that is a fight you would, in one or another, have with your government. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
That's clear. Abu, I will let you come in again. You've been asking a lot, so let me pick questions from the other attendees. Okay, so Abraham, if you can hear me, you were the one to raise your hands first. If you can hear me, kindly unmute yourself and then ask your question. Abraham, are you there? Okay, so if Abraham is not hearing me, we'll go to Wanzam. Okay, yeah. You can ask your question.
Yeah, my question is just a follow-up question on Abu's question. Let's say if I get a contract, I'm working with you people and I get a contract, or you people get a contract for me. Do I get to know the amount the client is paying, the amount that people are, or the percentage that people are picking from the money, and then what is due me?
Yes, I have just talked about the rates that are expected of as a developer. So when you're joining the platform, your talent manager will ask you, based on the rates that we have here, what rate do you feel you are at based on your experience? You decide and say that, okay, I feel like I am a C1 and therefore I should earn 16 euros. If there is any doubt to you being at that level, then the talent manager will have that discussion with you. But if there is not, then that will be put in agreement and say, this developer, their rate is this, and this is what they've been able to agree to. It's a discussion. It's not that when you join, you're at this level, no. Then also our rates that we charge clients are available on our website. So you're able to see, like it's out there in the open. And how much you ask for as a developer will allow us as Tunga make our markup, which is standard. You get? So if you as a developer say, I want 20 euros a month, and that is what I would like, and that is what I feel as a developer with the experience that I have, this is what I should be making, right? Then us as Tunga will go to the client and say, this is what Ernest feels they should earn per month based on their interview. Do you feel this is a skill set? These are the skills that they have and they should be earning as much as this? If they have doubts, then we are all brought into the conversation and we are able to reach agreement, because even us as a company, we have costs that we incur during the placement process that we need to be able to recover. So our costs are available on our website, how much we charge a client based on the level of the developer. But then even you as a developer, we introduced a policy that allows you to say, I am at this level because of this, and this. And whatever you ask to be paid, you will not enter a contract until you are comfortable with what has been agreed on. Yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, I get what you are saying, but what actually I want to get is, let's say I'm from Ghana, and I said, oh, okay, my monthly salary or the earnings I want is, let's say, 2,000 Ghana cedis. Then it happens that what's the name? The contract you are getting from me is more, and I can do it. So
we will tell you.
Okay.
We will tell you. We've had incidences like that where the client is willing to pay the developer more because of their skill set. Us as Tunga, if our markup is, let's say, I don't know the equivalence of 2,000 Ghana cedis. Is it cedis? I don't know how to pronounce it. But
Yeah,
okay.
you're right. You're right.
So if our markup is 2K, okay, let me say Ugandan shillings, right? And you asked for 3,000, and the client is willing to pay 6,000 for you to work with them. For us, our markup is 2K, right? That extra 1K is going to be given to you as a developer. We say, okay, yes, you requested for 3K, but the client feels like based on your skill set, there is this extra balance. This is our markup. This is how much, this is what we need to be able to deal with the costs of operation and support and all those things. So we've had instances where the client is willing to pay more and the developer takes that money. It's not, as long as we've made our markup is standard and it doesn't change. Yes.
Yeah. Last question.
Okay, kindly go ahead. The last question.
Yeah. I just checked your website for the registration process. So let's say if I'm a developer that is self-taught, but I'm able to do the work well, am I qualified for it, or I have to hold a degree, or?
No, you do not need a degree. You do not. It's not about where you went to school. It's not about where you have worked. It's about what you're able to do as a developer today. Because even me, when I got time and I started out as a Python developer, I went to school for construction, for Christ's sake. But you figure out, you learn, because there's so many resources out there that allow you to teach. And I will not lie, there are people who have gone to school 4 years and done software engineering, and they're not even half as good as someone who did agriculture and decided to learn on their own. Because what we forget is even the value that they're bringing is from a different industry. How you're able to transfer your knowledge with how you're able to, for example, with construction, how we're able to organize, manage projects and the like. That is knowledge that I brought to this kind of industry. And you find that sometimes they do way better. We don't look at your degree. It's about how you're able to be an adult, manage your time, structure your code, deliver your products. It's not about your degree. We don't even ask for a degree.
All right, that's awesome. That's awesome. So Abraham messaged that Abu asked his question. So we move on to Owusu Ajimai. If you can hear me, kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah. So I wanted to know whether Tunga provides like internship opportunities for like developers.
I think you missed it. We are working on that program. We're partnering with the Dutch government to be able to have internship opportunities or junior developer roles for the lower half of the market, that for people that are just starting out. And we hope to at least finish this by the end of August or September or early September, and we shall be able to put out a communication directly through Microsoft User Group Ghana, such that you are aware that, okay, these are opportunities that are available for internships. So we'll be partnering with different companies in Europe that are offering internships that you can actually learn on the job. It's not something that we're doing right now. We've had developers join us as interns for our internal products, but that is for training schools that we're partnering with. But with regards to you being hired as an intern to work with a client, it's something that we hope to start before this year ends, and we shall be able to communicate.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
All right, great. Any more questions? Wanzam, do you have questions again? Okay, so you can lower your hands. Okay, kindly come in.
On the internship aspect, TUNGA as an organization, does it have slot for internship?
Right now, we have 2 interns working with us as junior devs. Okay, they joined as interns and they've now grown to junior devs. We've had that program. We're trying to run it at least once a year. With this, they started this year. We launched it this year because previously for the products we were building internally, we just had, let's say, midway to senior devs, but we moved away from that as well to give people from some of the communities we're partnering with an opportunity. But in the event that we put out an advertisement for an intern, I'll be sure to reach out to the community lead to communicate.
Thank you very much.
All right. We are still taking questions. The floor is open. Kindly feel free. I think that Esther and Pearl, you've really done a great job. You've given us insight about the way your system and your company works. And I think that we are most fortunate to have an organization like yours coming to, help the youth and developers and IT as a whole to get opportunities like this. So again, let me say to the community, we will circulate a link to pick your CVs, your details. As long as you are part of the community, you would also get those details, and you would, if you do qualify, like Esther and Pearl have described, you go through the steps, and then who knows, you could become the next programmer with TUNGA offering their services. So let's keep in touch. Once you see the link, you will fill the details that is requested. That is only when you, qualify, when it's applicable to you, because it's a developer thing. So I wanted to ask Esther, do you have any kind of for other infrastructure or IT pro guys, or you don't have any plans to go to that side of things?
I do. I think we do. Could you be a bit more specific though, so that I'm answering you right?
Just for the developers, what about maybe cloud engineers, architects, system administrators? Yeah.
Cloud engineers. Yes.
Yeah, security engineers and those.
Yes.
Yeah, because there are a lot of technologies under Microsoft that you are not touching on them, and we know there are more opportunities for developers, but there are IT pros. A lot of them are there. So I don't know if you have anything.
Yes. We actually just partnered with. If we talk about security, we just partnered with a company called Performanta. I don't know if you know Performanta. It is one of the biggest in cybersecurity world over, and we are working with them to get them as many cyber professionals from Africa as possible. But we also do DevOps engineers, cloud computing, administrators, and architects. We have had those. We did have a time where we had clients looking for Microsoft administrators, but we couldn't find them, so we let the client go. So you
but it didn't come to the right place. Microsoft User Group Ghana have more of those guys.
Well, now I know. At the start last year, I had no idea.
Yes, and someone is asking any opportunity for graphic or UX designers.
UI and UX designers, those come along once, really rarely. Really rarely. It's really rare. We found that the demand is not as high
as a developer,
as for developers, as for DevOps engineers, but we've also seen a spike for cybersecurity professionals. But designers, UI, UX, it's been a bit tricky.
Yeah, I've been talking to Microsoft, and they've been telling us that they are like a 2 to 3 million opportunity for security engineers, and I think you should be looking into that area, because I'm saying that you are telling everybody to developer in Africa, but that there are a lot of opportunities apart from developers. So there are a lot of Microsoft 365 administrators are here, Windows Server, and mobility, like enterprise mobilities like Intune, System Center. A lot of Microsoft products engineers are here. We have a lot of them, so you can be talking to clients about those skills too.
If I can be able to get a guarantee, okay, not a guarantee of some sort, but like an understanding of the composition of the Microsoft user group Ghana, to know that if we were to look for administrators, these are the numbers we would expect, and these are the numbers we would have at this level. If we're looking at cybersecurity, then this is the number we would have. Then that way, I'm better placed to sit down with marketing and say, you know what, we have this community, and they're not developers specifically, but they do this, they do this, they do this. The system has not been looking for these people. So can you guys focus on finding jobs for this? Now there, you see there is progress, and because I know when these jobs come and I call Ernest and say, hi Ernest, I need someone who does this, I know he's going to send me someone within a day or within an hour, within two, because there is availability for them. But previously, when we had such roles come in, my dear, would spend a month and we could not find anyone, and we have to call the client and say, we are sorry, we would like to apologize. But if we have that guarantee, then it's something
I can assure you that I know that one, that our community is purely Microsoft.
And what we are going to do to add up to what Abu is saying, like I said, we are going to update the list. The link is going to go around because there have been more newcomers and they've stated, but we would, get all the details and structure it according to like the way you know the numbers. If you want maybe Microsoft 365 administrators, we tell you we have 50 people in that line who are good. If you want DevOps guys, we have these numbers who are good.
Power Platform, Microsoft Power Platform.
We have these numbers that are good. We would update our database and then we will push it to you. So I wanted actually to break it here for the community so that, they will know that this is what the community is all about. We are here to advocate, to help, and to network and learn and to give opportunities to our members and people at large. So we will surely get you that, like Abu is saying.
Definitely. Then we can see how to work out a way to specifically target companies that are looking for such a skill set. We can even start with a trial of some sort to say, okay, we have these 5 professionals skilled in this. Let's try and find them roles, and we put a timeline and see what comes out of that. I'm really open to experiments as much as possible.
I know this thing, and because in Europe here, I get every single day more than 2 recruiters contacting me to ask me about those things. Like there's a need for that. It's like there's overhype around developers. But it's not everybody is a developer. It's not everything is happening in developer environment. But the professional IT people, there are a lot from Windows client support to anything related to those things. I thought that's what you really do a lot. So the cybersecurity opportunity is there and all those things. So if you can work on around those areas about Microsoft technology, Microsoft 365, Power Platform, Microsoft Azure, and the Windows Server, and then Microsoft clients like Windows 10 and all the families areas, we can really easily get a lot of people for you around those technologies. So we send you the list of those technologies. After the meeting, we can put up some lists and say.
Okay, I would really appreciate that. Such that if when we proceed to work together, it's in a manner that is addressing your needs as well.
Okay, we still contact our developers still, but we want to add that one so that we get a lot of people for you.
I completely understand. Thank you so much.
Okay. So thank you guys, Esther and Pearl. It's been awesome presentation. In fact, the opportunity you guys are presenting to us is very wow, and we really give you a huge, applause that coming to give us further explanation about the way you work. And I think it's very clear that attendees are very happy for that insightful presentation. So we will say that this is just the beginning. As you already know, we will be doing more chats at the background, and to the community as well. We would get to you and we will update TUNGA on your list. So please stay tuned. This is the time to be very active with the community so you don't miss any info. So yes, on behalf of the organizers team, I would like to thank you very much for today's section, and we hope there will be more to come. I mean, we are looking at celebrating our summit for the year, which will happen in October, and we will still want you guys to, have in some slot because you just did a wonderful presentation on your company. So, thank you very, very much. Unfortunately, we've lost our speaker, second speaker, who was to present on the Azure. He had some unfortunate incident as we were trying to confirm his availability about an hour ago. He just had an unfortunate incident that will not allow him to present. So we want to deeply apologize for all who came in for that second section, but I do believe that this section, this opportunity has given us something to carry home, given us a value because, all in all, you want to get an opportunity to demonstrate your skill. We do learn, but if we don't have the platform to test our skills, then it becomes like, oh, okay, we are just reading or not applying any skill to the community or to the world at large. And we also want to have a good standard of living. So even though we've missed the insight which we planned, I believe this opportunity is serving us well, is motivating us to really keep up with what we are doing because there are a lot of opportunities out there begging for resources. And this is one of them that is coming. So we should keep it up to ourselves. And this has been the Agile Global Bootcamp, which we didn't plan it this way, but unfortunately, the speaker had some serious, really, really serious incident, and he just said he can't in the smallest way present. So I would like to apologize on behalf of the organizers and the whole team for not bringing you the second section. Abu, anything from your side?
No, only saying thank you to the organizers and our partners, TUNGA team and the attendees. As we do every month, we have a new session, so feel free to join us. And if any one part of the audience want to present some session, want to show their skill, that's the time before even TUNGA people contact you. You can show their skills here to convince everybody that yes, you should be getting those opportunity to work. And I wish I knew this thing. I would stay in Ghana. Instead to come and see the code here, I would stay in Ghana there and be working. But I didn't see this one coming. Yeah. So don't do like me. Just do your work in Ghana there in Africa. Okay. Yeah.
In fact, myself, I think I'm getting myself enrolled on the TUNGA platform because I've been hearing the cycle.
I can see.
So we want to really thank TUNGA for this awesome opportunity. And to attendees, yes, you've been wonderful, you've been amazing. There's more section coming out in the month of June. Yes, so kindly stay tuned. The events are registered there. I earlier shared the links, all our social media platforms. I will share it again just for those who came in quite a bit late. So do follow us on all the social media platforms, Teams, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Twitter. We will be sharing all this info. And in fact, the recordings of today's section will also be shared on our YouTube channel. So go there, and after this event, you can just view it on demand and give us more likes and more shares. So that will help your community get larger and larger, to help your friends who are out there who need these helps. We want to reach out to many people as possible, go into the hinterlands and spread the message about Microsoft technologies and IT stuff as a whole. So thank you for making time. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time and your internet you spent on this. So yes, thank you very, very much. On behalf of all the crew here, I would like to say have a pleasant weekend. So I'm still taking questions. If you don't have any questions, then we will call it a wrap. Guys, thank you very, 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 very much. We hope to see you more in our subsequent event. Thank you and bye-bye. Yeah, all right.